Alright. When I first started out approaching people, like I tried to approach people, like basically my brain was like really shy and convincing me, like telling me to like, oh no, what if they're gonna kill me or something, like my brain would always be so anxious when I first tried to approach people, like going out there and speaking. There's also quite the same with online, like in online where like Discord or something. I basically was trying I tried to approach people online as well. What basically happened was when I was approaching the people, I felt like this quite of shyness saying like what if he ignores me, of like what if he ignores my DM or something. But yeah, those are just scopes. You shouldn't follow your brain. It's just a cope. Basically, if basically what I did was I still went and like approached him, like send him a DM, direct message. I still send him a DM, like basically it's like we had a fun conversation, and after we had like a really nice conversation, I told him like I DM him and say like, hey bro, you like, hey bro, I had like a fun conversation with you, like would you have me like as a friend or something, like that's like the first thing I did. And he's like, oh cool. Like I didn't even said add friend. He immediately accepted my friend request. Literally for adding him and then sending him like a DM message of like, hey bro, I really enjoyed your conversation. I'm grateful for it, and then he immediately accepted my friend request. But that is only because I joined like a online community where there's people who I can speak with. So yeah. And there's also like, and outside is it is quite different though. Outside is just when you go outside you feel like this sense of anxious of like, what if they're gonna kill me or something, like that is because we still have some part of our brain who thinks that, is he a foe or an enemy? I mean, is he a friend or an enemy? Like that's still in our minds. So basically you shouldn't follow that, and basically if you see a person, you really gotta try and make sure if he's a friend or a foe. Because if you don't, you basically like don't get to be able to be like to stop your brain from telling you something. Because like it's basically, it works just like the caveman brain, where if someone isn't like, if someone is an enemy or a friend, let's say it's a stranger, like in the caveman days it is very rare to see a stranger, and if a caveman sees a stranger he would basically think like, is this guy a friend or a foe? Because if he's an enemy, if he's an enemy, he will kill him. But if he's a friend, he will say, "Oh, okay, come on, let's go back to the tribe." That's basically still in our minds, so that's why we always think that the people outside. When we go outside, we would always think that the people outside are enemies. Like we would always think, "Oh, what if he's gonna kill me, or what if he's gonna?" Because there's so many strangers. Like the caveman brain is quite scared because there's so many strangers when we can only like it'll take a while to see if they're all friends or foes. So basically how I started off with approaching, I basically just, what I did was I tried this thing called like socially lubing up, but like it's basically by approaching others first. Like you approach a lot of people, like let's say you approach like 5 people and then you approach more, and basically the energy goes up and up and up to the point where you get into a flow state and you just keep on approaching and approaching and approaching. Like that's basically how I started off. But it's quite different. I basically started off by speaking to my mother, having a conversation with him. I mean her. And then we went out. Then I went outside and I go there. And basically that's how then I already had quite a lot of energy, like quite this much, and then I started approaching people. Basically, that is how like it worked for me. That's how I started approaching people, and then it was nighttime, so I suddenly like went back home. But yeah, that's basically how I started off. Just basically have like a conversation, like have a conversation with a family member if you can't try to have one outside yet, and then try to approach people once you've started a conversation with your mom or something. Makes the energy go up, and then you start to approach people. It goes up until you get into a flow state, and then you straight up speaking to more and more people. So yeah, that's basically like all I can give. So apologize if this video was kind of trash because I'm quite sick and stuff like that. But anyways, and for online, like one last thing is basically just do not follow your brain. Every time you end the conversation, just make sure to DM him and say like, "Hey bro, I had a fun conversation with you" or something, or like if you had a debate with someone, just say, "Well, that was quite a fun debate," like stuff like that. Like basically just add him to your like friends, add friends in like Discord or something, and like go to like direct messages and speak to him, like send him a direct message. But yeah, like, and then if he responds, you just made a friend, an online friend that you can have calls with. Like you can also invite him for calls. Like it may seem quite embarrassing, but that's basically how it starts. Invite someone for a call, then it goes like that. So if you want to support me, you can subscribe. Keep on improving life.